Yes, exactly. The person's got to feel very, very safe, but they've got to be willing to actually unfold very, very honestly. It's like if there's any hidden motives instead of hiding particular feelings, which have got nothing to do with putting yourself on the table with integrity and saying, I've got this particular modus operandi, that if you hit it in the right position, it'll explode into the environment, and then you discover you're dealing with something different other than what the person's brought into the room.
Mm.
So yeah, they have to feel safe. But usually people use a mechanism of an hidden agenda to actually to hide the deeper reservoirs which needs to be seen, which are covered up maybe by anger, by shame, or anything like this. And behind that, like we said before, behind that usually is tears and sadness of regret. And if you can get to that, that's the point where things will break open, and the person will cry and the pressure out, and discover that the compromises have got to do with an emotional standardization, which has got nothing to do with the present moment. And that emotional standardization, which has been probably pre-programmed from childhood, then is sort of broken open, and then the floodgates start to work on the environment, and then everybody should be crying at that particular point. Yeah. Because usually when people in the room with me, if they cry with really genuine tears, I end up crying too, because then the true sense of feeling is then transmitted, and then the symbiotic relationship between anybody who wants to heal and the ones who believe they need to be healed, then starts to transpire. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also group healing as well, because if you cry about somebody else's burdens, then obviously those burdens are a trigger inside of yourself, because we're a world community that vibrates on a very, very specific level of awareness, and we're all very, very similar in terms of how we feel entrapped, how we feel like our voice is being maybe subdued by forces that are beyond our control in our households. So then it starts in our households. First thing we've got to do, yeah.